So with our mag lock, it is being powered by the outlet in our system here. It's integrated in the K1. Then you have to wire nut the ground in with the ground with the mag lock, and then you have your positive voltage that comes. Well, this interrupts the voltage, and it's set on normally closed for this mag lock, like most mag locks are, even for your entry doors. Next, I guess we'll go over how we had to install this gate, or the operator to the gate. So this required us to custom fabricate or get some tubing. It came with this little square plate right here, but you know, you just weld it onto the gate, the most solid place. This is a steel gate, so we were able to utilize the pickets since they're solid steel pickets. You know, did our welds and then went over, repainted everything. These arms, they do not come with the ability to lock them into place. So what you have to do, this is a little insert right here and a sleeve. So you place this arm onto the gate and make sure that this is locked into place where the gate's gonna stop. And then you come in, you weld the points where they slide in and out. That's right there, as well as right here. Go ahead and weld that all together. While you're doing that, the limits, the open close limits, are actually located on the slide, which is really nice. It's a lot easier to adjust, and you know, it takes a little bit of practice doing this, because you're gonna, this is how you disengage the hold on, let me power this off real quick. Power off. But to disengage this gate, you come right here, and also when you disengage right here and turn your power off of your system, what that does, disengages the mag lock, so you can do the override feature. So, you know, undo your brake, you'll take out this little shim that locks it into place, and then you can manually open your gate up. But lock it back down. Do not do this without powering off, because it'll immediately start trying to reopen the system, or it'll slide, the operator will start moving, and then it'll mess up your limits, and then you have to reset everything. Next, so this system not only has the remote system, but we installed a standard keypad. We gave the customer four remotes. So this is the little LiftMaster system we have. It's got the antenna, and it's perfectly fine. It's a plastic enclosure, so we don't have any issues with the customer, you know, getting the signal to this system to open it. With this, we have our input voltage to power the LiftMaster, and it goes up here, and it wires in to, of course, your red to the positive 28 volts, and then your black to the ground. And then this transmitter is set on normally open. So we'll follow these wires out to where they're being hooked up to. Go right here. Sorry about this, taking a little bit longer. Alright, so we got it on a ground, and then it is hooked up to the radio. Doesn't matter which ground you hook it up to, but the positive is going to be on the radio.
Dad.
Or, I'm sorry, I misspoke on that. The normally open will be onto the radio button. Doing a video, baby.
Dad, look. Munching on a leaf.
Cool, sweetie. All right, next we're going to go into the input power. So you'll have your high voltage coming in right here. This is your, for us is our 110, and you're disabled to wire nut your power in here. There is another neutral wire that has to be plugged in with your two other neutrals, your incoming neutral and your main power neutral. What that other neutral does is it powers your other outlet over here, your AC input, or your AC voltage output powers this system right here, and it's got indicators. Also has a 4 amp fuse, so whenever you're trying to whenever you're out in the field, I do not recommend trying to power like a saw or something out of this outlet. It will trip the fuse. All right. Next, we're gonna go over the loop, and so the loop is right in this area, and it keeps the gate from closing in on a vehicle when it's further outside the photo eyes. We'll go over this very quickly. You're going to have your positive and negative power going to, you know, a 24 volt outlet. Then you're going to be set up on normally open and common. We'll trace these out real quick. Normally open and common. So those are going over to the closed loop, and of course your black going to your ground. And then you'll see it says sensor. This is actually the loop itself. These two are the loop itself. Make sure that your switches that are right here, your dip switches, are all set to off, and make sure that it's all set to off. And then right here for your sensitivity, you can adjust it. I've found that 4 does pretty good on this system. And then this, you'll see your power. It's supposed to flash like I think it's 1 flash every 4 seconds if it's operating correctly. And then this detection button, when a vehicle drives over the loop, this detection wire will pop on, and then it'll restart the clock on the gate if it's in the open position. Of course, we got an external battery powering the system. We tried to get this system was hooked up for your loops, so it frees up a little bit of space on the top side. I think there might be an issue with this board because we could not get the loop to work using that. Okay, so photo eyes. Our photo eyes are set on the reopen. So we got our ground right here. Yellow and white wires going here, and then it has to be powered. The best way I can explain it is there's a terminal block and inside of these photo eyes, and I'll just give a quick reference for what it is. It's an IRB RET 2. So if you open up the back of this, you'll have your power, your 2 power slots. We'll actually have 4. The first power slots are the first two to the left of the power, and then adjacent to that there is two other positions, and that's your common and normally open positions. So that's how you'll hook this up. The click to enter, it only required us to use 4 wires. That's your your positive and negative 24 volts that power the system up, and this goes over to the strike command. Goes over to your strike command, so you'll do your common and your ground. It's or your normally open and your common, which is your ground. And it is on the click to enter, it's set to normally open. With this, we figured out that depending on what most of the EMS have these channels pre-programmed into like the ambulances and the fire trucks. This particular county, Walker County Police Department, they weren't very familiar with it. This is something that's more heavily used in highly populated areas, so it actually took a little bit of training with the officer. I was able to show him the comm sheet. So whenever you get this click to enter, you'll get it pre-programmed, and then they will send out a sheet with all the frequencies and the call outs for the click to enter. And so I just handed that information over to the police department with the click to enter manual, and I believe they're going to do a training class with their not only the police department but also the fire and EMS. So this is an amazing system. It cuts down on the response, or it cuts down on the, what do I want to say? It cuts down on the slower response times. This picks up at 100 feet away, so officers or EMS are able to, already start queuing this click to enter from a good distance away. That way the gate's open by the time they get up to it. Doesn't require them to get out, flip a switch, put a key into a box. Very fast system. Of course, with the loop, we have dug out, comes over to this position right here, and it goes, just loops around, comes back, comes out. I'm not sure the exact model of the loop, but for the video, I could attach it into the video with the manual for the loop, as well as the installation process that goes through that goes for that. Let's see what else I may have forgotten. Oh yeah, so for this system, this is a rental property. It's like a campground, and they have an external monitoring system. It's made by Remote Lock, and they also, they work in a lot of other different settings like medical. So the wiring diagram that I had sent to me was focused more on a door lock. So there was a little bit of changes I had to make with the wiring. Very nuanced. It's because it only had to deal with the power changes. The way they wanted me to do it, they wanted me to have power coming off this, the output power coming off the board here, to go to the maglock to interrupt the power. But I've already got power going on, so all I had to do was use my dry contacts, and from my dry contacts just take it over to the strike position, the same position that the click to enters wired into. Once I did that, I had no issues. So you'll see that there is two relays for here. It's got a K1 and a K2 relay. So whenever that code is put into the keypad, then it will open up the gate.
So it won't hurt to put more gravel on top of this, right? Okay.
Yep, so the customer is able to pre-program this board from his phone or even unlock the gate with this system. So this is, and also he has, for people who are going to be renting, or not renting, but coming out, they get sent out a temporary code. So it'll store that temporary code for, only a select amount of time. And then it'll delete that code out. But, pretty neat. It's got its own battery backup in case it does go down. It's able to communicate back to the monitoring company and let the customer know that either he has a commercial power outage or a low battery. With that, they had to install a modem. So they were able to they have their T-Mobile service out here. So, we went ahead and installed the enclosure they wanted us to install. We ran our cables to go to for Ethernet. We used a GFCI. There's a GFCI outlet that was installed. It's going, I'd recommend getting one where you can close the wires in, so you don't have to worry about water getting into the outlets. But goes in, powers our power strip here. Of course, the direct Ethernet connection. And we did have a bad photo eye, but we were able to get it replaced. For some reason, it was still working, even with even with it not even in path. But once we replaced that photo eye, it's back up and working fine. You can hear in this if it's working right. You got a red and green light, and then when you break the path, then the red light goes off. So you need both those lights on for it to be working. I believe that is just about it for here. We have the pedestal temporarily installed. What's going to happen? We have this conduit here running over to our column. They're going to be installing what do you call it? They'll be installing a divider, concrete divider here. Keep people staying in their lanes and stuff like that. Also to keep people from hitting the keypad. But overall, turned out to be a really good install. Learned a lot with this system. I'll get close up too so you can see the model number information here. This one's got a little bit more going on with it. It just has an added loop. So it's the only difference with that one. But that's about it. I guess we can go in real quickly to the controls. So we got our timer. This sets the timer for the gate once it's in the open position. ODS, this is your obstruction detection. So how much force it takes for the gate to reopen, if it's hitting something. Then we have overlap. So if we had hold on, where's this position at? So you have this master and slave connection. That's if you have a dual opening gate. So if you had two of these Viking K1s that were opening up a swing gate, a double swing gate, and you would need to have that other K1 hooked up to this one. And usually you'll have, for like over here, you'll have, just imagine both these gates. So one side of the gate will be your latch side, and one will actually have your power for your mag lock, where it locks onto the latch side. And the reason you need that overlap is it slows down that other gate. So whichever one, you want your latch side to close first, and then you want your mag lock, your magnet powered side, to close on your latch side. So you would adjust this to make sure that you had enough overlap where the gates didn't either bind on themselves or or break any hardware off. You got your open and close features, your stop feature. You also have here, you can manually shut off your motor. I know earlier I said I'd power off the system if you're gonna have to manually do this, manually unlock the arm to open the gate. I would, if you didn't have a mag lock, you could do this option, but for this particular system, because it does have the mag lock, you'll have to power off the whole system to power down that the mag lock so it can open. But that's about it. Got another overview.